A lot of people on the bids waiting to buy as price drops. We can see a very sharp drop down on the New York Open, but I can see the delta flipped. There is a lot of buying happening at the zone, so I'm happily going to go long from these lows. I'm not using that much size, not looking to stay in the trade for a long time as well. Let's see. 251 on the buy side on the S&P. There has been a lot of buying in this zone. Look at the bids. Huge amount of bids at the lows. We have created this volume profile where we stayed a bit. Then we moved up. I want to see momentum building up and them easily pushing up without any resistance from the sellers. So let's see what happens next. You can just see how Nasdaq drops, but then it rises. S&P is doing the same thing. Delta is showing positive. We are at all-time highs. This is the all-time high for the S&P. We are very close to it. Any drops that you see in the market on the S&P and Nasdaq are just bids picking up all those sell contracts and moving up, which we see happens here at the open. And yeah, that's a push up again. I might add into this trade. See. But also have to be cautious because opens are notorious for moving up and down, shaking people out. Let's just wait and see. So this zone on the S&P is a zone where they have spent the most amount of time. As you can see, this is the point of control. You can see the amount of contracts transacted in this zone, which is this one right here. This was some news coming out. This was the PPI, and it actually came in negative. But the reason stock market pushed up is because any negative news that come out are actually positive for the market, because we need to see negative news coming out in order for them to cut the interest rates because they're high right now. So that's the reason for the pump. Then we saw that the price action, which usually happens when you see such a big move up, they have retraced pretty much the whole move, whole this imbalance they have retraced, and now they have pushed up. Now they're coming down again with a lot of speed, which I don't like, but we're using less size, so I'm able to how you say it, to accept the loss, to take the loss if it does occur. Also, as I said, this huge wick was left behind and they haven't really traded it back into it, so that would be an ideal zone to trade towards. And yesterday it happened the same thing. When New York started, they dropped. I think this was, where was it? Right here. I don't think I can check it. I can. You can see this was the US Open. They dropped and then they just moved up and made new all-time highs. So it could be the same thing happening today as well. They drop, build some longs, at the lows, bids pick up all the short selling, and then they move up. Let's just wait and see. I'm also happy to just take the loss here and let price do his thing. Maybe they can actually retrace this whole move down, and then I can go long from the lows. But we need to wait and see. Do you see how Nasdaq tried to push up, but then it dropped down very quickly? That is a bearish sign. But also, another interesting thing is that S&P is not even at the value area lows, but Nasdaq is at the lows, creating new lows as we speak. And that's an interesting dynamic. I can see a lot of selling on the Nasdaq, and they are pushing down, so I would expect a bit more movement down. But at some point, I would expect bids to come in and protect the zone and push up. Sweet spot for me would be if we can actually make it above my entry. You can see S&P is holding much better than the Nasdaq. That's the dynamic between these two right now. You can see how much more ground Nasdaq covers, but S&P doesn't move an inch. That's very interesting. If I see S&P breaking these lows, I'm just gonna get out to take the loss. No reason to stay in the trade. But you can see how well they're holding. I kind of want to go long on the Nasdaq because I can see a lot of sellers being trapped in this zone. I'm still not sure because it is the open. Anything can happen. Bids are still present. You can see it drop, pushes up, drop, pushes. There isn't that move down, that conviction that says to you, yeah, it's gonna drop. Then you see the fast push up. Then it drops again. You see, S&P pushes, Nasdaq follows. It's all up to Nasdaq. If Nasdaq can't hold and S&P follows and drops down below my entry, I'm just gonna get out. Then I would expect prices to really drop down. $195. I'm just gonna mark it off. Can we hold this point? Moves up again, but I'm not seeing that much buying coming in. See how it drops, then pushes up. $109. That's a big buy on the Nasdaq. That's good. Let's see what they do with this 109 buy. We can see result is a move up, which is good. There we go. That's a nice move. You can see how the delta flipped. Now it's blue. It's more blue than the red. That's good. If they can sustain this move, I'm happily holding this trade. Just need to see on the power meters and the tape some buyers coming in. You see, he easily pushes up. That's good. Back to my entry on the Nasdaq. 50 MA is close on the S&P. Let's see how they fare with the 50 MA, what they do with it. Point of control is close as well. That's next zone of interest to trade towards. The bids are present, offers as well. 230 on the offer, that's a big offer. I'm gonna mark it off. It could be a spoof. If we can run through that order, that's a very bullish sign. There we go, that's exactly what you want to see. Did you see how easily it pushed up through that offer, which should have acted as a wall, but it didn't. Good closes on the 1 minute candle. Still pushing up. Again, buyers coming in. 131. That could be buyers exhaustion because we didn't see that move up. So I gotta be careful right now. That's a big sell, 300. Yeah, then you see our result is a move down. Not really ideal thing to see. And yeah, Nasdaq drops down just as easily. Once again, you know, welcome to the open. If they can't hold this point, I'm just gonna get out. No reason to stay in the trade. Moves up again. Moves down, that's a lot of negative delta on the S&P. But it seems like they haven't seen that move down that they wanted. And then you see a move up, which means they absorbed all this selling. Which we can see by the presence of the bids at the lows. But Nasdaq is very weak. It's very, very weak. You don't see this too often. And I can't really see any reason to hold the trade. I don't see any reason for Nasdaq to push up if it does. Unless it does with speed, but you can see it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, comes down. It's very unpredictable. There isn't one side that is telling me, yeah, it's definitely going to go up or it's definitely going to go down. Both sides are struggling right now. But what we can see clearly is that S&P is very strong. It moves much easier to the upside. Kind of tempted to just take the trades or to take the profits on the S&P and take the loss on the Nasdaq. You see how they lose steam again. The Nasdaq drops. Yeah, I'm just gonna get out. Get out from the Nasdaq. Gonna offset the loss a bit on the S&P if we can. If not, yeah, it's gonna drop down. Yeah, there's the move again down on the Nasdaq. Very treacherous behavior from Nasdaq. Maybe we can wait for prices to drop down a bit more. Wait maybe for better confluences to enter the trade. I mean, they can shoot up from this point as well, just as easily, which I've seen happen a lot. But if I'm not seeing something happening and going in my favor sooner rather than later, then I'm just gonna get out. No reason to stay in the trade. now we see that move up on the S&P. But as I said, we never knew price was gonna make it to that price level. We just read the market, and what we saw was market being weak. You know, it is what it is. I'm just gonna apply my edge, and that's it. It's not about, you know, money lost or money made or how much I could have made if I held this trade, blah blah blah. That doesn't matter. What matters is execution and how well you can apply it, you know, how well you apply yourself in the markets and how well you can follow that discipline and follow the structure that you have made for yourself. And if you can do that, of course, throughout the 100 trades, you will be profitable. You just need that tiny edge in the markets to make you actually be profitable. You don't need to be right all the time. Just find your edge, find your way to trade and execute. That's it. Rinse and repeat. I mean, trading is boring, but that is it. That's the truth. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that already, so. This was my previous entry. This was the original entry that I have taken. You can see how easily they drop down again. I mean, that's just the nature of how price moves in the opens. It's also why I'm using less size, because markets are very manipulative. That's a big market participant that just sold all these contracts in the markets. That could be a clue to enter the shorts, unless I'm too late. You can see how the book is now thinning. Previously we saw like 2,000-3,000 contracts or 200 contracts total on the bids and offers. Now it's like 1,600. So we can see there has been a change. It was a good point for me to exit the trade. I wasn't married to the trade, just accepted that the markets or the movement was not favorable in my way. So yeah. Currently at the lows, Nasdaq dropping again. And I mean, to be honest, that is a very sharp drop down, which I could trade back towards again, which we did back here. As you can see, sharp drop, moves up, sharp drop. It should move up, but I want to see Nasdaq and S&P move down a bit more to get a better feel. I just like to buy from the lowest point. So if we can see them dropping down, bids picking up all the sell contracts, delta flipping, then I will go long at these lows. Price rejects this level, this 50 MA, very aggressively. So I'm taking notes. 2000 on the offers, much more than the bids. Very huge negative delta at the lows on the Nasdaq. If they can push down from this point, look for some shorts. Haven't really seen anything interesting to tell me, yeah, you know, you should like enter the trade. It's a very dead range that we are stuck in right now. And you know, sometimes the art of trading is knowing when not to trade, as well as knowing when to trade, you know. Your most profitable trades could be the ones that you don't even take, so that's always how I look at it. You can just see how weak they are when they push up. It's lazy moves up. That's a clue for you to not be that bullish. You see moves up, then it loses steam, it loses interest, it drops down. Moves up, loses interest, drops down. But still, I mean, this week still poses a problem for me if I will look for some shorts. Because I know they like to move to those places, especially when we are so near the all-time highs and how they behaved the previous day. I mean, I'm still expecting a move up, but we could see it probably later in the day, just not right now. $50 MA again. Can S&P push through it? Trying. You see moves up, drops down, moves up, then it drops down again. 124, but offers coming in. Bars being sold too. Let's see if they can push up. Drops down again. 415 sells came in here previously, which could act as a wall as well. 226 on the sell side. Still attack at this 50 MA. Very close to the point of control on both assets. Let's see the delta, if it can flip. I'm very tempted to just go short here. 302 on the buy, okay. Pushes up. I could sell into this if they can't hold. We're just gonna see long unwinding and a very sharp move down. Let's see. 40 lack of interest from the buyers as price is moving up. 140 bids coming in. Okay, this could be a move up. Yeah, you see, there's no buyers coming in. Then it drops down just as easily. Let's just do a quick trade. Quick sell on Nasdaq and S&P. Not looking to risk that much. I'd rather use more size because I'm looking for literally a 5-point move, which will net me like $25, which is nothing. But if I see a move down happening with speed, I see momentum building up, I'm gonna build a bigger position. Could also sell from a higher point as well. This point of control has been acting as a resistance zone for such a long time. Let's see. Just gonna wait for bears to be exhausted. Wait for those moves down that you just saw on the Nasdaq, which are the clues for you to stay the trade. Unless I don't see them and then they move up, which I'm gonna get out from the trade then. That doesn't matter. Huge batch of selling coming in, which is good. You see bids are trying to protect the zone. Then you see the push up. Can Nasdaq sustain this move? Yeah, then it drops down again. Let's wait and see. This could be another move up to trap the buyers into the belief, yeah, it's gonna move up. Then they're gonna drop down again. Let's see. $305 on the buy side, $450 on the sell. We are at the point where we reversed from the Nasdaq very aggressively from to the downside. So there could be the same thing happening. Yeah, there's the drop again from the same place. Can they pick up speed? 350 on the sell again from the same point. More sells than the buys as price is moving up, which is good for the shorts. Much more bids than the offers, which is interesting. I mean, it's not, since price is moving up. Let's see if we can flip that and we can see more offers. We're coming very close to this week. If they start to recover this week, I'm just gonna get out. You guys might be wondering why I'm still in the trade. Even though the delta is positive and they're pushing easily up, is because I'm not using that much size. And seeing how previously they moved in this zone, I would expect retraces down, so that's why I'm holding the trade. And even possibly adding into the position so that I can enter or that I can exit sooner. So let's see. There's the move on the Nasdaq. You can see how they're attacking the lows, attacks. 152 on the sell. Comes up again. One more push on the Nasdaq and I'm gonna change direction to the upside again. Very hard day to trade. Let's see how this candle closes. It's gonna give me an insight on what to do next. $226, $229, that's a big offer on the Nasdaq, which we can trade towards. But it is being pulled as price moves away from it. So it could be a spoof. Yeah, I can see the bids are present. I'm just gonna get in. I will use more size. I will use more size so that I can offset the loss that I have taken on the Nasdaq and S&P throughout this session. I'm just gonna trade towards this wick that I left out from that move down. Let's see. We can see a lot of offers being stacked, which is good. We can trade towards those points. 256, 260, that's a lot of buying on the Nasdaq. 245 bits being protective again, good. Come on, give me that one push up. 1600 on the offers, that's a small amount of offers compared to the bids. That's good. Come on, push up. Don't lose the steam now, come on. Push. Come on, Nasdaq. There's the move. There's the push. Going into the imbalances. Come on, Nasdaq. You're taking way too long. I do not like this. Come on, push. There's the push, nice. Yeah, buyers being stuck. Time to get out. Just leave 2 contracts on the S&P in case they actually do move up, but I'm just gonna get out. I don't like the way price moves. Yeah, just get out. Very hard day to trade, horrible day to trade. Not happy with my trading as well. I think I'm barely positive on the day. I just couldn't find the right trade. Didn't have the right bias. This one right here really chopped me out. I could have just stayed in my long that I was anticipating to go up into this week when I came into the charts and just put my stop below this point, below this low. But I didn't. I read the markets. I was wrong. Then they moved up. Or they moved down. Then I built some longs, moved up. Then I closed them, I think. Then I went short. Then they went up. I changed direction again to the longs. Kind of got wicked out up and down. Yeah. Very hard day. But I mean, at least I can learn from these days. I'm just gonna review my trading, see what I did right, wrong, how I could have acted differently. So yeah. If I see them move down back to this point where they originally built their longs, I'm just gonna go long again. But that's gonna happen probably some later time in the day. So yeah. That's it, guys. I'm not gonna hold you anymore, and I'll see you guys in the next video.